Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series with me, your host, Guile. I've had a lot of requests in the last 24 to 48 hours for more average Joes. I do apologise if I have been neglecting them. It is not out of any intention. It is purely because there's been so much going on at the pro level, what with all the tournaments and the laddering. Finding time is always tricky, but you've all been good girls and boys. So without further ado, here is one for you, sent in to me by Brinko War, so thank you to him. The map is tabula rasa, very handily bisected, almost straight down the middle, so we can call everything on the left side of this river up here Team 1, and everything on the right over this side Team 2. Let's take a look at the teams and see how they stack up. So, up here for Team 1 is Valen, he's going Fim, then we got Brinko War going Aeon, Ionic also going Aeon, Panzer 95 going Bryn, and Brinko Insanity also going Bryn. So, nice mix of races there. I can assume the Brinko Insanity and Brinko War are friends, otherwise that's a colossal coincidence. But Team 2 has an even nicer representation of the races. All races are present, which is always nice to see. See all the tech in a game. And up here at the top right, I assume that's Captain Judd. At least that's what we're going to call him. I refuse to call him Captain because that doesn't roll off the tongue. Followed by... He's going UEF, followed by UFC Gladiator, who is going Fim, 2 Cents Tuya, who's going Bryn, TGX Davarona is going Aeon, and at the bottom right, Kakilla 911, he's going UEF. So let's see how they get on. I saw a lot of people complaining at the beginning about the lack of mass on this map. I don't think it's particularly bad. There's, I suppose, 1, 2, 3, 4-ish mass points at the base, and then you've got a couple around the outside nearby. But there's a ton of reclaimable mass on this map. You can see in the center, it reminds me very reminiscent of a Fields of Isis. Loads of Titan wrecks in amongst there, so lots to reclaim. But it's not just there. You've got these little plateaus where you've got transports, more Titan wrecks, tons of rocks and trees everywhere, even down here as well. So there's plenty of mass to get reclaiming and get your economy up and running. Now, UFC Gladiator is the first to make it to the middle. It's not surprising since he is top of the global ladder rankings in terms of this game. His economy or his score suffered a little bit when he took his ACU out of his base, but that's to be expected. And he's marched across the map, and now he's promptly right at the top. And this is a nice maneuver that a lot of newbies don't really think of. They tend to, when they start building something, they leave it, let the com or whoever started it continue to finish it. You don't need to do that. Why not start it building, and then when you need to get more mass, you switch to the mass, and a follow-up engineer can come and complete that if it's not a necessity to get that up and running. Meanwhile, your com can go ahead, as I say, hoover all the mass up, and he's going to be able to do that a lot more efficiently. Ionic now making it towards the middle, and there is a build queue up, but I assume that's not him because the PD are on this side of the wall section, so I assume that is for 2 Cents Tuya, but he's not going to be able to get that up because Ionic is now crossing the mark, and he's going to be working on getting some of this mass. He's going to pick up this engineer kill as he does, and he's doing the right thing. He's going to hoover up mass on this side, forcing 2 Cents Tuya if and when he gets here to move across the river and put him in more potential harm. So nice maneuver there. And Panzer 95, very much like UFC Gladiator, working on this mass unmolested, as Gladiator is up here, who's now finished that land factory. And of course, it's not surprising. You don't expect Brinko War or Davarona to come strolling all that distance across with a com. It's kind of unrealistic. We've got Valen up here, who's sent his commander there just to chill. He's having a picnic by the trees. No, he's on the move now. Quite sure what his plans are at the moment. And down here we've got Brinko Insanity, who is moving his com up across the way. He's starting work on some T2 Cerberuses and a shield. That poor little engineer that worked so hard on that mass point. Actually, no, there's the engineer hiding by this tree. He's not going to last very long at all. You can see that point defense ain't going to get it done, my friend. You might as well just turn around. So yeah, it looks like a nice secure little beachhead for Brinko Insanity. And conversely up the top, Judd is not deciding to do the same. He is leaving his com in his base and not deciding to go for these extra 2 points. I think that's a little bit of a mistake, personally. I think it's definitely worthwhile going for it. But Valen is now on an upgrade with his com, and I think it's more than likely that he's going to be able to secure that and pin Captain Judd on this side of the river. Of course, you get any kind of security up on this side for Team 1, any kind of base defense. It's going to be very hard to come across the water, out of the water, make landfall and force your way back across it. So definitely a slight mistake there from Judd, but he is one of the lower, I think he is the lowest rating in this game, so he is the most average, if you'll pardon my expression, so I think we can forgive him for that. We've got a little bit of a queue order, or a rally order for Gladiator. He sent his units into the middle to assist with 2 cents 2 years Mantis. They're going to help defend that against a few Auroras from Ionic. Ionic's actually now up to T2. He's got the Obsidian tanks out, one of my favourite units. And Ionic just getting an upgrade there, probably going for the T2 upgrade, which it looks like Gladiator already has. So we're probably going to see a lot of heavy static base wars going on this side of the map. And a Obsidian tank taking so much fire. One of my favourite units. Doesn't help if you don't micro it. And up here we've got a few T2 units. We've got T2 for Valen, and he's building Ilshavers as well. That's one of my other favourite T2 units. And yeah, why not post in the comment section below your favourite T2 units? Always fun, but they're definitely my 2 favourites. Gotta love the gun on that Obsidian. So very tough. Of course, you leave it dwelling under a hail of fire from T1 Mobile RT, you're still going to go down. And again, he's not microing it. There we go. Straight into loads of oncoming fire from Mantis, and that's probably going to go down. But a few Oblivion turrets up and running. Gladiator's going to take a couple of shots to the face. So obviously a little bit concerned about that. Lots of fire raining down on this forward fortification of Ionic, and he's taking Cerberus fire as well. He's going to have to abandon this point. There's no way he can deal with all of that. Luckily, one little Oblivion turret slows down the pursuit of Gladiator. But I feel that that might have saved Ionic. Although there's a strong push, a lot of forces coming from 2 cents to you as well, and some Renegades. So Team 2 sensing blood here, want to potentially pick up a comm kill in the early game if they can. Team 1 need to get some kind of air support out there to assist him. I don't see any airplanes out anywhere for Team 1 at the moment, so he's going to have to get that done on his own, and pretty sharpish. Another Renegade out on him as well. He has got 6,000 odd HP, and there you can go see rapid construction of some anti-air turrets. I think that's probably going to be able to do it. He's going to be able to keep spamming those up faster than the Renegades can take them down. So one Renegade goes down, another one's going to go down. But I think Ionic has avoided the worst of it. But you can see some point defense going up now for Gladiator, so they're attempting to secure territory on this side of the river. Panzer getting up a lot of factories, but not building much out of them. Lots of static factories, not really making much use of those at all. And he needs to back up. He's down to 2,500 HP, taking a lot of fire, but he does manage to get away. These Obsidian turrets still rolling in one at a time, but they're really not going to make any ground at all now. He needs to change that rally point as soon as possible. Just rolling in one at a time, just getting popped by these PD. He has managed to do rather well there. Takes out one of them. Looks like another one's probably going to go down, although Cerberus is on this side of the river for 2 cents to you, still well in range. We're taking a look at the other side of the map as well. This base is up and running now, full with TAC missile defense and everything, so that's looking pretty grisly. And we see a T2 naval factory up and running for Brinko Insanity, and you think, well, it's not a lot of water on this map, doesn't make sense, but remember, he's Cybrin, so that destroyer that he's building is just going to promptly sprout legs and go walking on land. And pound for pound, the naval units in this game so much obviously more dangerous than the land units. That's actually going to make that quite a sensible option. But we do have a UEF factory up here, and I don't like that play for Judd. It's going to be very limited use. I mean, I suppose he could potentially build some governors or something. and maybe go after Valen's base up here, but he's going to have to build a lot to make it effective. And if he was to actually manage to dispatch that base in any regular fashion, it's then going to be completely useless. Maybe get some fire on some bases down here, but really he needs to be focusing on trying to damage his opponent up here, make some ground on him, and that's not really going to get things done. So I don't really like that play up here. I see Insanity now working on getting that destroyer up and running as quickly as possible, getting it, a lot of assistance on that naval factory, and more renegades still out for 2 cents to you, dealing with this factory spam of Panzer 95, but it's not particularly a high priority target since they're not really doing anything. Not really sure what the mass has been spent on. There it is. Okay, so Panzer 95 has teched up instead. He did a load of land spam, but didn't, for factory spam, but didn't use it to create any land spam, and instead has teched straight up to T3 land and is starting to pump out bricks. You can see the first one is up here now. We're going to have a perimeter. No, sorry, it's a stealth field generator. Not big enough for a perimeter monitoring station. That'd be a nice place for it, though, if you could secure this little area. But obviously just trying to take the radar signatures off the map to assist their side as best they can against any point defense creep, of which that seems to be the name of the game in the middle now. Ionic has stemmed the tide, managed to get repped up a little bit on his ACU, and is slowly constructing Oblivion turrets at the pace at which fingernails grow. So that's all good. And Gladiator seems to have moved his ACU. It's back here now. He's been working on some T2 power. And they're actually getting some TAC missile launchers up. So they're either going to go slowly after some of the economy of Team 1 or potentially go for a snipe. So we'll have to keep track of that. Try not to miss it, but it's always tricky with in a 5v5. There's so much going on. We've got Spectres out now for Daverona, who's going after resourcing options of Panzer 95. But we have T3 Air out for Brinko War, so he's promptly to the rescue. ASFs out in the field, they're going to have no problems in popping that. Indeed they do. And I don't see any other ASFs on the field, so that's all working rather nicely. I see some projectiles flying over that side, but maybe that was just my imagination. Lots and lots of engineers getting on some reclaim now for Iconic. I keep calling them Iconic, it's Ionic, excuse me. And he's now continuing to work on securing that little beachhead. So the fast-paced action of the opening of the game seems to have lulled a little bit. But in terms of map control, advantage just with Team 2 at the moment. Obviously just pushing across the river means that they've got access to these mass points, but all of these mass points in here are in no man's land, so to speak, and really unobtainable for Team 1. And to Kakilla's credit, despite the grisly appearance of this little base, he's actually done quite solid work. Brink of Insanity's moving his commander back. He's done pretty solid work with this Ravager. He's getting another one up now. It's shield gen, and he's got a T3 mobile RT in there, which is actually decimating this little beachhead of Insanity. But he does have some reinforcements in the form of this cruiser. You see the range on that sucker. Take a look at it for you. And it's absolutely brutal, and that's why this factory was a really good idea. He's actually, I don't know if he's lost all those engineers. He might have lost those to those Spectres from Daverona, so that was a nice pickup from him. That's really going to slow up any production from that, although he's not building anything from it at the moment. Have to see what he is doing. In fact, he's on an upgrade for his comm, so that's where his energy is going at the moment. But I think it's going to be mutually assured destruction down here. Don't see any way Kakilla's going to be able to stabilize against that destroyer. Pretty sure those Ravagers are going to, in their positioning, they're just going to be thwarted by the relief of the land. Maybe they've got a shot. It's kind of hard to see through the shield. Yeah, it's a tough call. We'll have to see how it goes. I don't think they've got, maybe they don't have any radar on it. Probably not seeing where that's coming from. Indeed they don't, so they have the signatures from the spotted units there, but they're just taking unchecked fire from that destroyer and unable to do anything about it, although he is moving it back in now, so it's, he's moving it back into the water. You can see it's down to 1,000 odd HP, so he must have been taking fire from something. There's quite a lot of triads down here as well. So Kikilla doing a nice little job of forcing Insanity back off that little beachhead. And this air army for, or air force I should say, for Brink of War is looking pretty nasty now. Pretty dominant, but we have got ASFs out for Daverona as well. So, and it's interesting the two teams have mirrored. The guys who seem to be doing the air production have sort of mirrored in terms of their placement. And it's not necessarily, you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, I suppose actually it's kind of nestled in there. It is kind of the intuitive guide to say you take air. We've got Cerberus turrets getting pummeled pretty hard now by mobile artillery, so he's going to send the bricks in. There's a lot of Cerberus turrets there, but of course they're pretty damn woeful in terms of their damage. But so those bricks are going to do quite a lot of damage to this little forward fortification. And Ionic is sending an Aurora in to help. That's very kind of him. It probably gets destroyed. But a whole army of Obsidians now coming in as well. Could have done with a little bit better communication on the timing of that attack. If you'd have sent it in at exactly the same time, he would have done better. But nonetheless, they've managed to get rid of this little forward base. So that gives them a little bit of breathing room. But that's a nasty bank of T2 point defense. And you can see a experimental assault bot. A chicken is very nearly finished for Gladiator, and they've got a lot of TAC missile launchers as well up and running now. And indeed, Judd has gone for governors, so I just don't like that option. I really don't. They've got, you know, they can spend time firing on this base, but that's going to put very little pressure on Team 1. So probably not the best option there. And this chicken very nearly finished now, and this is going to cause some real problems for Team 1 indeed. I don't know if they've got anything that's going to be able to deal with that. If they're not careful, that could lose them 2 commanders, being as how far forward Ionic and Panzer are. And Ionic's actually on an upgrade right now, so that's pretty bad timing. Indeed, the chicken is on the move. It's getting pinged like crazy. You can see the Oblivion turrets opening up. Bricks moving forward to engage. Ionic, you need to cancel that upgrade, which he does. But you're never going to be able to get away. Comms are woefully slow. Ionic's commander being pinged. And surely Gladiator's going to pick up the first kill here. Boom! There he goes. And Ionic is ejected from the game. Brink of War exclaims his displeasure. No! So a nice pickup there for Team 2. Always rely on an assault bot. The explosion does at least finish off the assault bot. So Panzer, for the moment, is safe. Well, as safe as you can be when you've just lost your flank and you're coming under that many missile launcher, that much fire from mobile missile launchers. His shield's completely crumbling. TMD doing what they can to keep up with it, but there's just far too many missiles. And strap bombers out now for Daverona, and we got restorers as well, but they just don't have the air coverage. Brink of Insanity's ASF numbers are far too high, and they are going to lose that air battle and promptly lose all their air coverage. Oh, so much fire coming in now, and that is the end of almost everything of any worth in that forward base for Panzer. And another chicken just being super spammed up now for Gladiator, who really is carrying his team quite hard. Panzer really doesn't want to relinquish control of this beach, trying to get more shield gens up, but I would be a little bit more concerned of the safety of my comm at this point. Loads of strat bombers out for Brink of War, and this could be crucial timing. If it can pick up the snipe now on Gladiator, that assault bot is done. shields taking the brunt of that. One of them gets through, but they have got another pass. And of course, that last engagement completely depleted all of the reserves of ASS. Gladiator needs to get moving. I think he's resigned or something. Tries to start work on a shield, but that's going to be far too late. Beautiful pickup there from Brink of War. And that's probably just saved Panzer for the minute as well, because that chicken is going to go down. And it's very unlikely he was going to get away from it. So beautiful, beautiful little work. I assume it is, otherwise see if share until death is actually on. Stuff should promptly go down. Indeed it does. So 1 for 1, but more importantly, Brink of War has ejected their key player from the game, the guy who was looking most deadly. And that's a very nice pick. And of course they have the air advantage now, so very nice work. And now the strap bomber is going on to work on the base of TGX Davarona. He's currently just working on some power, trying to get back the air initiative, but I don't know if it's going to work. So much shielding for just a handful of units to get through. We do have a Monkey Lord up and running for 2 cents to you, so it might still be time for a bit of a comeback for Team 2. But now we have a chicken for Valen up and running and promptly marching towards the base. I think it's going to be the end of Captain Judd. You do not want to have your comms. You were supposed to be walking the other way. Indeed he is. And it has been spotted, however, by Team 1. And his comm is getting pinged, and that's going to be the end of the base. Captain Judd. Ravager was the only thing putting any real significant DPS on that chicken. Nice to see a little bit of teamwork going on. Some transference of power generators to Killer, so they have been communicating at least. But Monkey Lord now coming under a lot of strap bomber fire. Question is, will it be enough? Panzer just not learning from his the demise of his teammate, just sitting there waiting to get a laser in the face. If he's not careful, it's exactly what he's going to get. Experimental is vastly quicker, of course, than the ACU. Oh, I think he's going to get away with it thanks to those strap bombers. Indeed he does. So lucky there, but my god, that was a poor decision. And you see just how ineffective those governors were sitting firing from the river. And indeed, there goes Captain Judd. Ejected from the game, third player to go down, so things not looking great now for Team 2. It is a 4 versus 3 with the complete air control pretty much in the hands of Team 1. And you got to feel sorry for Killer. He did manage to secure this side of the river in the end. Brinko Insanity obviously got the T3 upgrade. It's just slowly been working on a Monkey Lord. Obviously wants to send that in and get his beachhead back. But I think that's more of a long-term strategy, and I don't think the game's going to go on this long. I think it's going to be player after player going thick and fast. Percy's actually from Killer doing very nice work there. You can see he's taken out that factory, a whole lot of stuff in the center of the base. So Insanity is not looking too healthy at the moment in terms of eco. Panzer still looking very explosive, trying to get another shield gen up and running. Only remaining shield gem was down to nothing on its HP, and there it goes, and a very nice, what was that? It must have been an artillery shell? Mobile missile launcher? I don't know. Very nice work from 2 cents to you, taking him out, and that evens it up a little bit, but still that air advantage is with Team 1. Restorers working on trying to finish off that chicken from Velen that has come all the way across the map and down. And it's in danger of picking up yet another player with this same chicken. 2 cents wisely moving his comm as fast as he can out of the way, but it's a shame he's directing it straight in towards the base of his teammate Davarona. I say the air advantage is with Brinko War, but I see the ASFs now. Of course they're all hovering over the thing, dealing with the restorers. So see how they're going to get this chicken dealt with before it promptly goes marching straight through the base of Davarona. And with Davarona down, that really will be the end of Team 2. Very nice, healthy looking economy for Brinko War. That's what's allowed him to thump out all of these strap bombers. Those suckers ain't cheap. 153 kills now for this chicken. And Tafarona just must be, cheers mate, thanks for bringing that into my base, good job. But I mean, you know, if there's only one direction to run, that's what you do, but it's just kind of funny. Engineers just going pop everywhere. Tafarona's not even going to move, he's just like, yeah, I'm not going, okay, it's over. And boom, there goes 2 cents to you. Davarona's not going to be far behind. Strap bomb is coming in, you can't see anything. There goes Davarona. So Killer's the only one left. I don't even know where his comm is. It's got to be near here somewhere. There he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he just left at this point. I mean, absolutely owned. But he's going to get that option. So many strap bombers out for brink of war. So very nicely played by Team 1. Very entertaining match. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be more Average Joes in the future. I'm trying to get a little bit more of equality between the Average Joes maps, the Seaton's games, and the ladder matches. But you know, it is tough. I kind of have to select the replays as and when they come in as to how good they are. Incidentally, I know you guys, most of you will know this already. Of course, you're playing the game, but for those of you who might have stumbled across this or the other videos in the series, Supreme Commander is available for download upon Steam, and the Forged Alliance Forever community project is also a free download you can get from the link in the comments or in the description to this video below. It is the FAF client is totally free. It's replaced the old GPG multiplayer client that because support was pulled last year. From GPG for this game, and the client is way superior to anything that GPG had in the days. The work that the guys have put in on it, it's a phenomenal piece of a kit, and the fact that you know, the community's growing up to 450, 500 members now at peak times is just a testimony to that. So if you're new to Subcom and or you like the look of this game, do come join us. We'd love to have you, but that's enough from me for now. This is Guile signing out.